Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When I started seeking knowledge to learn more about the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I had some problems. One of them is I did not know the method or how do I start gaining knowledge? How do I seek knowledge? I didn't have someone to guide me or to tell me about any efficient methods to learn or specific things to do, what to read, how to organize my time. No one told me about that. Like, do we just start reading books and investigating and trying to research when we just started? Like reading Al-Usul al-Thalatha by ourselves or reading the shuruh of these small books, even if they're small, do we just start reading them? Or do we just go keep on learning from the YouTube? Or how do we organize our times, etc.? And do we just search for answers online and act like we are Shuyukh al-Islam? So inshallah, I'm gonna make this a series. Inshallah, I might try to post every day or every other day, inshallah, regarding this series specifically on how to gain knowledge, specifically on each specific subject like the Quran, fiqh, usul al-tafsir, the tafsir itself. How do you memorize and what are the most effective ways to learn? And all of these things, inshallah, I'm going to address them, and how to read the books and how to benefit from the books as much as you can, and what books to read in the beginning. So it's going to be a long series, inshallah, but it's going to be very beneficial, inshallah. I've been learning Islam for 6 years, and I tried most of the methods that you might think of, learning from shuyukh, reading books, and inshallah, we're going to start today by organizing the time. If you think defending Islam by only learning about the shubuhat and having good arguments or having sources that support your argument, this is not Islam. I'm sorry to break it to you. This is a next level thing that you do when you defend Islam. If you've been only learning for a year or 2 years or 3 years, you don't have the right to go out and give da'wah because you're not prepared. Even if you're 18 years old, what kind of knowledge you have at 18? Even if you eat the books 24/7, what kind of knowledge you have at 18 years old? When did you repent to Allah? When did you start praying? By the age of 9? You did not do that. You repented late, maybe 15 or 16. Wallahi, I'm not criticizing anyone and I don't have anything in mind, but I heard this specific statement from one of the shuyukh that I listened to, Sheikh Muqaddis Saqar. He was asked about an apostate who apostated from Islam and he learned about Islam. He told him, if you're an 18 years old, what did you learn about Islam? And a lot of people on the app, they make tons of mistakes because they just be going on live 24/7 and you're just wasting your life. Khalas ya akhi, wallahi, you can learn and become or benefit the ummah way more when you study or when you make videos than when you just sit down on lives and waste your time or trying to make fun of someone or obliterate someone's argument. These people are slow. Wallahi, people on TikTok, especially those who criticize Islam, they're all slow. So don't waste your time on them. Wallah. The first thing that you have to do is focus on the time. For example, if you go to school, you have to have a specific schedule, a specific routine. If you go to work, you have to also have a specific routine. If you do both, you have to also have a specific routine. If you go to college, you have to have a specific routine. I personally attend college online. I don't go in person. I make my own schedule whenever I want so I can focus academically on pursuing like whatever degree you get, and also focus at the same time on gaining Islamic knowledge. Let me show you inshallah my method and what I do. So for college, I take right now 4 classes because these classes are accelerated and they are only for 8 weeks, and then the second 8 weeks of the semester I'm going to take these 2 classes and 2 more or 1 more. After I transfer these classes that I have to take this semester, they're not that hard. But at the same time, each specific class takes me about 5 to 6 hours to finish the homeworks for these classes. So it's not that light and it's not that heavy. Just like comparing it to organic chem or calculus, etc. What I do specifically is for each specific class, I assign a single day for each class. For example, all of my works, I have to submit them by Monday midnight, right? So Tuesday, the new week starts. For example, on Tuesday, I try to finish all of my assignments for criminal justice in America. On Wednesday, I try to finish all of my assignments for English literature. And on Thursday, for the small class, stupid class, 1 credit. And on Thursday or on Friday, I try to finish the Intro to Philosophy assignments. So now, every single day in the morning after Fajr, I take my time, 3-4 hours for each class, maybe sometimes more, sometimes less, and I finish all of the assignments for these classes. By Friday, I'll be done with all of these classes. I go to Jum'ah, then I come back home, and now I have the rest of Friday. I have Saturday, Sunday, and also Monday. So just like that, on Friday, I'll be done with all of my college assignments or homeworks. Then I have the rest of Friday and the rest of the week all the way till Monday, so I can personally learn Islam and educate myself on Islam. And sometimes I finish the assignments of two classes in one day. Then the next day I finish the other two classes, so I can have enough time to study or to do research, etc. So after I finish with these classes, I can start learning Islam, etc. And also, if you go to work, the same thing. Do your own schedule. I'm going to show you, inshallah, now the schedule of the things I learned personally. So first, the Quran memorization. Now I'm memorizing Surah Al-Mu'minun. Regarding Surah Al-Mu'minun, I started it. I also put the date because I want to know when I finish memorizing. Because I was busy was preparing for the debate with the Mushrik Taqvi. I didn't get a time to memorize other than these two parts of it. So the surah that I want to memorize is Surah Al-Mu'minun. So I divide this surah into sections. Like each section is about 1 page, right? Sometimes it's 2 pages, sometimes page and a half. It depends because some parts are connected between the surah. You cannot stop in the middle of the in the story and then move on to the next one or to the next page. So you have to connect them together. For example, the first part is about a page and a half. This is about 2 pages and a half, and this is about something like that, and so on and on. But most of the time, I try to keep one specific surah or one specific page section. Personally, I only go for 2 pages a week. I don't go for more than that. Before that, I used to do 1 page a day, etc. But when I started getting busy with college and work and etc., I started forgetting a lot. So I just wanted to take it slow and revise because I'm going to show you that I also revise. So let's say these are 6 sections for Surah Al-Mu'minun. Each section is a page, approximately. Let's say that, right? So every week I'm going to do 2 sections, I'm coming to this part. This is usul. I study usul. So one lecture with a specific teacher. It's on. There are lectures recorded. I go with them, and each lecture is heavy. Sometimes the lecture is hour and 45 minutes. Sometimes hour and a half. Sometimes less or more. Between watching the lecture, studying, and revising these pages, because we don't even study more than 10 pages a lecture. Sometimes 7. Most of the time 7 pages, and it's very long. So it takes me about 4 to 5 hours just to study a lecture of usul. So it's gonna take me 5. Now fiqh is way easier because I only study 1 section a week, and it doesn't take me that much time. Just doing research and studying, etc. It takes me between 2 hours to 2 hours and a half. Because I'm gonna teach you, of course, to have to study each specific thing, but this is only about organizing the time, inshallah. Then next in the series, inshallah, I'm gonna show you how to study each specific field or subject. The Quran, as I said, I finished this already. The Quran, as I told you, I memorize only 2 sections a week. This week, I only put 1, right? Because 1 section or 1 lecture, because I memorized from 23 to 44 these verses, and these verses are they are in 2 pages and a half, or about 2 pages. Al-Muraja'a, revising, I revise 2 juzu each week, so you can keep up with what you memorized. And Aqidah, maybe choose a specific book, whatever book that you want to study in Aqidah, right? And study maybe small books like Al-Hamawiyya, Al-Tadmuriyya, or these small mutun with a teacher, with a shuyukh. I watch these lectures. Each lecture is about an hour, and I take maybe 30 minutes or an extra hour to revise and read also other things regarding the specific lesson. For each lesson, For the Quran, it takes me 1 hour to memorize each page because I use specific method, or I follow a specific method. I memorize it in 10-15 minutes, but trying to keep what I've memorized is harder than memorizing itself. And the Muraja'a, 45 minutes for each part, so it's an hour and a half. And the Aqidah, let's say 1 hour and a half for each for each section or for each lecture, so 3 hours in total. And a kitab, I read a book. I try to read at least 1 book every single week. So this it depends on the book. So it takes between 4 hours to 12 or 13 hours to read a single book or a single volume. And if it's a small book like 100 or 200 pages, this is light. I try to read 2 of these books if it's between 200 to 300 pages. But if it's 500 or 600 or sometimes 700 and sometimes 900 pages, I just stick to 1 book a week. So it depends on the book, maybe approximately, let's say 6 hours or 7 hours. The total of these times is about 20 hours or 19 hours and a half. This is the specific way that I follow. But for you don't have to do all of that. You can just choose maybe fiqh is the most important thing, and the Quran. every day memorize half a page of the Quran or a page. يا أخي, you don't want to memorize the Quran, maybe you already memorized it, or you don't want to memorize, read the tafsir. 1 hour of reading the tafsir every single week. The Aqidah is also important, so maybe choose Aqidah and Fiqh, every single day. Or let's say 2 lectures of Aqidah, 2 lectures of Aqidah and 2 lectures of Fiqh every single week. Don't go more than that. Don't, like, for me, because now I got used to it, and sometimes I even leave some of these things because if I'm busy with my life. So you don't have to read a book, you don't have to watch because before I used to even do 2 books, 2 Aqidah, more than Muraja'a, more than in the Quran, and etc. And I had more things in it, or more things to do in my week. But when school started, then I don't have that much time, so these are more than enough for me. It depends on you. Don't stuff yourself with too much, because all of these stuff that I'm learning, they are based on memorizing and revising. All of these are based on memorizing and revising, because if you don't memorize, it's like you did not learn. So try to set your schedule in a way that fits your life. Don't overload yourself. If you go to school, and I'm gonna inshallah tell you how to use your time, how to benefit from your time when you're doing the assignments, when you are going to school, etc. That's a different story. Try to make your own schedule. Try to organize your time, and don't waste your time on TikTok, on Instagram, or scrolling on the phone. Wallahi, it's not gonna benefit you in any way or form. Go on it for 10-15 minutes, an hour, but more than that, you're just wasting your life. Let's say you go to high school, you go 5 days a week. Okay, do you go to work after that? If you go to work after that, then choose the days that you don't go to work, and try to work on these specific days to study Islam. And also one thing, if you go to school, you can finish your homeworks or your assignments at school. I used to go to high school, I used to finish all my assignments at school. I'm not trying to go home and do anything, because school work, it's useless. I don't really like school, to be honest, but sometimes you have to do it for specific reasons. So try to finish all of these assignments at school. After you finish them, you'll have free time to do whatever you want. But don't sit down in class if you have 10 or 15 minutes, do nothing, and say, I'll do it later, etc. Don't do it later, do it now. Finish it, try to start it. So in the next class, you can either finish it, or you can already have half of it done. As I said, try to focus on leaving the school work or the school homeworks for school. Do them in class, as long as the teacher allows it. So when you go back home, you don't have things to worry about. You can take an hour or 2 to learn about Islam. Watch a lecture. Inshallah, choose 2 topics that's in your preference. Don't do more than that. So maybe 2 lectures of fiqh, 2 sessions of fiqh, and 2 sessions of Quran, or 2 sessions in Aqidah, or 2 sessions of reading a specific book. You have 4 sessions a week. This is more than enough if you're trying to begin. Don't, because when you study, I'm gonna also tell you about how you study, but this is about, as I said, managing your time. Because when you study, it's all based on memorizing. If you don't memorize, you're nothing to be mentioned. Inshallah, from today, try to manage your time as much as you can, and don't waste time of your life, because your life is consistent of your time. And one thing, each week begins for me on Tuesday, because my classes on the first day of the week is Tuesday. So I try to focus on making my Islamic studies on Tuesday too. Like the beginning of the week, it starts on Tuesday. So I don't have to lose it. Which day is this and which day is that? No, I have a specific schedule that I set, and I'm gonna follow it, inshallah. So this is part 1. I think the video is very long, inshallah. I'm gonna leave part 2 of organizing the time, or setting your own schedule, and then inshallah we move on to the next topics. Because inshallah in part 2 I'm gonna tell you how to use your time efficiently, and inshallah I'm gonna give you some tips, inshallah. But for now, it's more than enough. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.